Mary, do you think we ought to call Liz and see if she can let Jules and Leah know that we're online? This is Pam. I'm not showing my face today.
No, I wasn't going to show my face either, but I hit the wrong button because I look like I just rolled out of bed, even though I've been up since 6 o'clock.
I understand. I understand.
It's one of those
Um,
like working from home so I can look like a troll.
exactly. That's why I'm not showing my face. But
Yeah.
I would like to learn today. So,
Do you have either of their numbers?
let's see. I'm looking to see if I have
Because I
Liz.
don't have either of their contact.
I'm gonna pull up Liz. So Liz. Sounds like somebody else just tried to join.
No, I think that was my computer. Oh, wait, it says Valentine Leadership is the host now.
Oh, great, great.
Everyone.
Okay. So we have
Really?
people.
Yay.
Hey.
Hey, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. You're in a different room, but we can hear you.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, welcome to today's class on listing marketing. Awesome. Real quick. So today's class, I'm happy to work with whatever you guys want to do. There's a couple things in listing marketing. I'm going to tell you the complete strategy of what you should be doing to get more listings. So yes, to sell the listing, right? But a lot of times, right, the MLS does that for you, right? It syndicates out for you. So really, you marketing your listing increases the amount of referrals from your sphere, right? And wows the seller so that they refer you as well. And right, NAR says that 66% of agents' business comes from repeat business and referrals. So this is a really good use of your time to make sure you're getting your listing everywhere and not just to market the listing, right? Because yeah, if you post your listing on your social media, let's say, okay, great, that will be seen by your followers. Chances one of your followers are going to buy that house are pretty slim. The point instead is to show your sphere that you have the ability to market their home should they list with you. So I'm going to walk you through that process. First, starting with, I'm just going to pull up a blank Google Drive sheet here just so I can show you guys what the strategy is, list it out for you, what you should be doing when you are marketing your listing to achieve the goal that we just talked about. And then we'll talk about the tools that are free to you with KW that you should be utilizing to do this. And then also, if you want to leverage this, tools that you can do that as well. Okay, so when you get a new listing, right, of course, you should be marketing that on social media, right? All of your social media accounts. Right. And if you do not have, let's say, a LinkedIn account or a Google My Business account and you want that, right? You guys can meet with us for free every other week on KWB resources. It says marketing help at the top. We'll help you implement any of this. Okay. So that social media posts, so you guys, if you don't know, you have a free Canva Pro account with KW. Okay, and I'll show you that. I'm going to overview this and we'll dive deeply into maybe what you guys would like to learn more about. So canva.kw.com, you just log in with your command credentials and you have Pro, which is really cool. It's $120 a year, so that's something that you automatically get. Another thing that's really great for writing captions and the verbiage for the listings, for the listing description, and then converting it to a caption with keywords and then to an email to your sphere is Gemini. So Gemini is the chat GPT that Google made, right, to compete with it. So you have a free pro account with Gemini at gemini.google.com and you just log in with your KW email. Okay, and I'll show you these things, okay, but just to overview it, that's really great for captions. And then converting the verbiage efficiently to an appropriate format for send to your sphere via email versus social media, very different formats strategically. Yeah, and that takes a lot of time to convert or seconds with chat. Do you use chat GPT? Yeah. Yeah, that's my best friend. Yeah. And you guys online, feel free to jump in with any questions at any time, just a heads up. So then the other free marketing channel that you have would be emailing this to your database, okay? Again, with the goal of allowing them to see more information about the listing and also search other listings. And I'll show you that. But your database, touching your database, right? That'll be key for this listing, getting more referrals. Okay, other options so that you can do. So on social media, on that social media post, sharing to groups is a really effective strategy that's really not used by a lot of people. So this is on Facebook specifically, okay? And I'll show you these things. But on Facebook, you'll know you're part of a group, like Keller Williams Valentine group, right? Well, you can search groups like moving to Charlotte, right? Other realtors might make them, and they have a million groups, moving from New York to Charlotte, moving to Gastonia. So playing around, just searching keywords, they are typically created by other realtors, but sharing your listing pointedly to those groups is what gets it in front of more of a target market. And I'll show you that. So if you're unclear on that, I'll show you how to do that. But essentially, like when you access your Keller Williams Valentine group, or if we're going to share something there, a similar process. Okay, so now as far as your paid marketing channels, so little extra things you can do that Command has the option to do. So these ones are the paid optional next steps, but postcards in Command. So first of all, Command can send, you don't need to know their addresses. So if you get a listing in Hunter Oaks, it can circle Hunter Oaks and send it to any homes in that neighborhood. So when it comes to, what's it called? Circle prospecting, right, with your listing, they do recommend sending out a just listed, under contract and sold postcard for our clients. We typically do just listed and sold, always with a QR code. Okay. And I'll provide you with a resource to do this, or we can do all of these things for you, just letting you know. But of course, you have a lot of money out when you're starting real estate. So I'm going to teach you how to do this and implement it for free. And then the last one here is just a Facebook ad, and also post like an Instagram ad. And this is done from Command. It syncs with the listings, and you can run an ad from there. Now, this is actually one of my favorite things that you can say to get a listing. Why listing with you is different than listing with an agent, let's say, at a smaller brokerage. Well, what Command has an integration with Facebook ads and Instagram ads, and I'll show you this actually. Let's pull up Command if you want to go ahead and log in while I'm telling you about this. So in Command, there's the ability to see where the most referrals are coming from out of state. So yeah, every agent's going to post it on their social media, let's say, but what you can do is target certain listings where we can see, and I'll show you how, where the most KW referrals are coming to. So we could run an ad to up to 10 different cities in the same ad to, let's say, local areas like Pineville, Gastonia, whatever. But then also to, let's say, where people are moving to most, like New York City, and places in Texas. And I'll show you that map. But that's a really good script to be able to tell your clients, especially if it's a unique property, that you're able to get that their property in front of out-of-state clients, and it targets people who are on Zillow and Realtor.com, and so it is targeting them based on their searches, which is cool. Okay, so how you find that referral map to start with. In Command, and I went to agent.kw.com. Please stop me if I know I jumped a couple steps there in logging in, but agent.kw.com, let me know if you have questions on how I got here. And in here, we'll go to the referral section on the left-hand side menu. And just a quick tip, as you guys probably know, you can click on the KW logo on the top left to pan this menu out. So you can start to learn the navigation of Command if you don't feel comfortable with it. And of course, you can meet with us and we go through each marketing piece in here on every Thursday. All right, so referrals tab here. Okay, you can see on the map at the top. So there's a map at the top. And if your browser knows your location, it might get it correctly. If not, you can just go to Charlotte. I usually have to type in, let's say, Charlotte, North Carolina. We'll do that. Okay, so what this is doing in general right now is if you do have an outside referral, right, that you want to give a referral, let's say you have clients moving to Michigan, you can search agents in the city they're moving in and search by production, or you'll notice on this drop down right here, right, see this drop down where it says production, You can change that to referral patterns instead. Right? Okay, and this is, I guess I couldn't type in Charlotte first. Sorry, I gave you an extra piece of work. It goes to Austin if it did that to you, because that's where Keller Williams International is. So if you need to, just go ahead and type in Charlotte, North Carolina, or maybe your browser knows where you are. Okay, right now it's showing you where the most referrals are going out of Charlotte to, like where we refer the most to. So you'll see these little icons on the top right here. We want to switch that one, I believe, to the gray one here. Yep. So the one with the arrow pointing down into a box, right? That's showing us where the most referrals are coming from, being sent from. And now this is KW specific information, right? But you can hover over each one and see the main places that would be most beneficial for you to run an ad to that area, especially, you know, if it's a lot of land property, it might be beneficial to run the ad to, you know, New York or California where they don't have a lot of land. And again, this is cities, but on the right hand side, you can also see the city names. And this is allowing you to take it to the next level and make analytical decisions and be pointed about where you're getting that listing in front of. So it is next level of what other agents do. And the great thing is, if you just remember this exists to get the listing, right? And then come to me, I can then do it with you, right? We can do it together. So you don't need to necessarily remember everything I tell you, but just remembering this exists, okay? And when you do, then we can run an ad from the campaign section of command. Now, I would love your collaboration. I can take you through, my plan is to take you through the list I showed you to just kind of show you exactly how you access these things and top strategies, and then show you how to run an effective Facebook ad, an Instagram ad, because that can really set you apart. Typically, I mean, yes, it's great for leads too. Typically, we'll see for about $35 to $50 ad spend, you can expect, and it'll tell you, we see anywhere from, you know, 8 leads, sometimes 18 leads. You know, these are out of state leads. I will also show you with this, because they're cold leads, right? So warm leads with your sphere typically takes about 6 touches, 6 to 8 to get expect a referral, versus cold lead, it takes about 13. So what will be effective is I'll also show you how to set up a follow-up smart plan. And we have one that we made custom, so I'll show you how to add it to your account. And it's called Smart Plan in KW Command. And essentially what it means is when that lead comes in, it's going to automatically follow up with them, send them an email every few days, remind you to contact them, remind you it can automatically text for you. So it's going to set up your system around following up with each lead, depending on what day it came into your command database. Okay, so, and again, feel free to jump in with any questions. But on the top right, on the top here, we'll start social media. I'm just going to overview your tools here. And if you want me to dive in, just let me know further. So canva.kw.com, have you gone into that yet?
No, not yet, but I use Canva.
Okay. Do you have Canva Pro like yourself?
I used to, but now I don't.
I know, right? Which is great. So canva.kw.com, you would just log in with your command credentials. Okay. Now, if you've used command or Canva before, what's cool about the pro version of Canva KW is that it integrates with the MLS, so it can automatically pull over the listing photos from the MLS and listing details. This is not something that regular Canva does outside of this, which is awesome. There's also a lot of brand templates. So on the left-hand side here, if you'll click on the brand option, change this. Actually, hang on, let me tell you the most efficient way to get, because there's a bunch of KW brands in here, branded templates already created, and here, I'll tell you exactly how to get to it. The great thing about it, okay, is they're all in compliance. So, guys, sorry, they moved around the brand section, Canva did just this week. There we go, okay. Thanks for your patience. So on the left-hand side, let's actually click on projects. Okay, these are anytime you save your projects, right? So if you scroll down here, so you'll see your recents, obviously you can set up folders and your past designs. So keep scrolling down and you'll start to see brand templates. What is so great about these is outside of what the regular Canva Pro has, is they're in compliance, which is awesome. Regular Canva Pro doesn't know what KW compliance is, but this one does, which is great. So main concept being, if you scroll through, you can search through these at the top, right? But if you can kind of scroll through and see and click show more and see the listing posts here or the listing flyers. So you can go ahead and pick one that feels good to you. The great thing is once we edit it once, right, I would really recommend using the same listing posts over and over. You can switch it up a little, but that's a part of building your brand recognition, is not using a different template and font each time. And it's better for your workflow, right? Once we edit it one time, then you can just keep editing it each time, right? That same one. And if you guys have questions on the how-to create a social piece in here, feel free to book with us. Again, that's kwbresources.com. Also, I'll put my email in the chat. I do have video resources that you can go ahead and watch to get any of this information like today after class. But yes, Canva, of course, you can learn anywhere. And the great thing is too, is that ChatGPT knows how to use all the KW tools. So if you ask ChatGPT, it will give you steps on how to do it as well for the KW specific tools. It's very cool. All right, so that was all in canva.kw.com, right? So that is where you can create a social media piece. You can also create a door knocking flyer, right? If you do an open house and you want to go around and invite people to the open house. There is something in Canva actually I want to show you, and that's how to create a QR code in seconds and put it on your print marketing. So QR codes are, yeah, you can put it on your social piece or email, but people a lot of times look at it on their phone and they need their phone to scan it. So if you're doing any print marketing, flyer, postcard, it should always have a QR code to capture leads and provide extra value. So it's actually super easy. And I'm going to show you how you would add a QR code to go to the listing on your website. Okay. So let's actually go back to Canva. All right, and you can pick, I'm just going to go back to the project section and pick a listing flyer just to show you how you would add a QR code. You can pull up any design to do this on, but let's say I'll go ahead and use this flyer here. Okay, and sorry, I did that a little fast. I clicked on the template and then clicked use brand template. I think I said it said on the top right. Okay, and editing it is pretty intuitive, where you double click, right, to edit any of the text. Main thing for photos is I would always recommend dragging and dropping, so it keeps the same like aspect ratio, right? And it keeps the same formatting. Okay, and so again, this is not really what we're going to do today, so feel free to book with us or email me if you need the steps. However, for today, okay, QR code. First, I'm going to show you the how, and then I'll show you what link to put on there. So elements on the left-hand side here, right? This is where you can search for any pictures of Charlotte, videos of Charlotte, right? To use in your designs. You can make videos in here with B-roll that's already in there, right? Background roll. That was CS1 B-roll. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go with it.
Yeah.
So in the elements section, if you type in QR code, okay, all it wants you to do to make a QR code, so in elements again, I just search QR code, and you'll see it just wants me to enter the URL, so the website address. So yeah, that could just be your website in general, but we want to give them information about the property, right? So to show you that, I'm going to pull up another tab and go to your website. So if you'd like to do it with me, this would be a great practice. And this is really good for you guys to learn to share the link to your listing on your social media as well. Okay, so pull up your website. So typically, if you're not sure of your website address, it typically mimics the KW email. So if your KW email is johnsmith@kw.com, your website should be usually johnsmith.kw.com, unless one was already taken. But if you're not sure, that's what it is. And if you're also not sure and that didn't work, you can look in your personal inbox for an email from Scott Roy Marketing. They sent you, they already made your website for you, right? You don't have to do anything, it's just set up. But that'll tell you all your logins and website URL. That's Scott Roy Marketing in your personal inbox usually. Okay, so on your website here, okay, what we can do, let's say we have that listing, we can go ahead and search the listing. And so if you have a listing in mind, feel free to go ahead and type in that address. Or if you're just learning this, feel free to just put current location. And it'll just search properties around here so we can get one to practice with. Or of course, you can search for your listing or any search terms here. And this website is cool. It syncs with the app that you guys have and searches properties across the entire country. So not just our MLS. So you can share this to any friends, yeah, even in Utah. Or,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it'll do their location. Yeah. All right. So if you are just grabbing a listing, feel free to click on any listing on your website. Okay. So there's two really cool options I want to show you. So first of all, what you're looking at, if you click on a listing, this was your listing, right? It would have your information here. It shows all the property photos. But even cooler, as you scroll down, I do like just some highlights here. It will show any upcoming open houses that you're having. But I like that it shows the neighborhood as well. So if you scroll down far enough or click neighborhood, right, you can also click on go to neighborhood and it will show you all the neighborhood stats, mini CMA, other homes for sale, etc. Right, so that can be used as well, and I'll come back to that because that's a really useful tool. Right, but first of all, and it shows nearby schools and their ratings, which I really appreciate. Right, and it looks great, always has your information, and they can search other properties. So option one, to make that QR code, to give them, scan here to get all the information, click on the URL and that will highlight it, right? And you can right click to copy or Control C or Command C. So make sure it's highlighted, then right click the URL to copy it. And then we're going to go back over to our Canva design, which has that C on the tab. So the C on the tab. And then, so we were in elements. If you lost this at all, we're just elements and search QR code. So we can just simply paste in what that URL is and click generate code. And bada boom, bada bang. I love this. And then now you can just resize it, right? And put it wherever you want it. You could add text that says scan for all information, etc. Yes. I do want to show you one more really cool way that you can make them register first before getting the information about the property. If anyone has questions online though about that, please let me know. Jump in anytime. What I'm going to show you now is, how you can essentially force registration for them to get the property details. They want that information, so it's a good time to do it. What this is really used for is as a digital open house sign-in sheet for command. So but it doesn't look like they can't see open house or anything, but how you set that up. So if you can go back to your KW website page, so with that red KW at the top, wherever that listing is, and click on the end of the URL. So you'll see that your cursor is blinking. So you don't want it highlighted here. I want to click at the end so the cursor is blinking so I can type. And we're going to do a / and write the word open house with no space between it. So / open house, no space, press enter, give it a second. It usually takes like 15-30 seconds here. And it's going to turn this into a digital open house sign-in sheet. Okay, so instead what it does of giving them all the information right away, right, it prompts them to log or put their information, which then puts their information directly in your command database, which then can directly then have that follow-up smart plan start where it just automatically, they fill this out and they're getting updates about the property and about how you can help them moving forward automatic, which I love. So This can be used for two main things that we're talking about here. This can just be used in general on if you want to capture lead information like on a property flyer before giving them all access, which I love. But the other thing that you could do is at an open house sign in, you could either create a QR code to this page or have like a tablet open for them to sign in directly here, just to show you what would happen next. Like what they get. And feel free to fill this out. I would actually recommend that because then you can see what it looks like when a lead comes in to your database, right? And if you are having them do this or they're doing it on a tablet, the checking of the boxes, I mean, I know they're right there, but sometimes that makes it not go through. So just confirming. And I can give you the full strategy on how that looks to make sure you're executing that properly. I have videos and you can meet with us. Right, but then it takes you then to, once they put in their information, it takes them to the full property information, your full about information, contact, and then they can see all the property either by scanning or clicking right here. So too, if it's on their phone, they can take that like MLS sheet with them essentially, right? And it's like taking a digital business card for you with them, you know? So it's providing value with your contact information, okay? So again, how we did this, and then I just want to show you one final thing. How we did this is we just went to the property on our website, right? And we put at the end of the URL, we put a / so when it's not highlighted, get it to type and then / just to simply type open house. That's on any of the listings. So any listing you're doing an open house for, right? You can market other agents' listings. You do need their permission. I can give you info on that, right? But this is a great way to capture lead information because they want that. Now, if I wanted this to go on that flyer instead, right? Once it turns into the open house sign-in sheet, it would be the same exact process, but just to see that again, when it's highlighted, then I'll copy it and go over to Canva, right? And in the elements tab here, we search QR code, but this time I'm gonna paste in this other URL and that will generate a totally unique QR code that then you could have on this instead. And I do like the option of making them register for that. Any questions on that? Okay, great. Yeah, a lot of our clients too, what they do is they'll just take that QR code, or I mean, we do it for them, but if you're doing an open house, you can just generate the code and write on here, welcome to the open house. And then they just frame this and have it at the open, like on their island.
Oh, yeah.
And then people will register that way. So I can give you more tips on that, but that's a really, really useful way to capture leads from your listings. And again, guys, online, if I lose you, just let me know. Okay, so what we did so far, social media, door knocking, right? Okay, so as far as Gemini goes, we're gonna use that for the next couple parts here. And I'm gonna show you guys how to do a Facebook ad and Instagram ad as well. So now as far as systematizing, getting out the listing, right? So if we write the caption, so let's say you wrote the property description, and I would always recommend using Gemini because you can tell it to write it in the amount of characters that the MLS requires, which I want to say is 1,000 characters. I could be wrong on that for the property description. But you can have it. So I'm gonna first show you, let's say, how to write a property description in general, like how easy it is. So where I went is Gemini.google.com, or if you just Google Gemini, it's just ChatGPT's competitor, right, with Google. And what's cool about the pro version is you can create unlimited images. Turn this into my new headshot, right? Or create, well, and I just did, which I thought was fun. If you take your headshot and say, hey, take my headshot and make it into a caricature of me standing in front of a South Charlotte home with a for sale sign with Keller Williams branding, right? And your phone number, you can even write. It does it, like in a caricature, people used to pay hundreds for that, which, yeah. But anyway, so there's a lot you can do for this. to get social media content by just creating unlimited images here, which is really cool. Okay, so for, let's say, if I'm gonna put a prompt in for the property description, all you would need to do is write something like, I always tell it how to act, and this is why it's important that you're signed in, because it'll know you're a real estate agent after we do this a few times, right? And it remembers for next time. So act as a real estate agent and write a property description. And so someone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, if it's more than 1,000 characters now in the MLS. But it tells you obviously when you're looking in the MLS, just whatever it says. Property description in 1,000 characters or less for the MLS to increase exposure. Based on the below details, okay? And then all you have to do is any details that you have. And just a tip when you're typing on here, if you do want to tab down, it's shift and enter instead of just enter. You don't have to type down, right? You could just type in, let's say, 3 beds, 2 baths, Matthews, North Carolina. I'm just gonna show you how good it does with such little information. Cul-de-sac, lot, great landscaping, open concept, layout. Right, give it a few details. And it's gonna write it in the format of a property description. And you know, the first time that you're working with it, right, this is not really what we want it to, I mean, if you guys see it like this in the MLS, but typically we don't see that like that in the MLS. So then you can work with it and say, okay, rewrite this in paragraph form, optimized to copy and paste into the MLS. And then once you get it to be the format you want it, then it will remember that every single time. And this is a lot better, right? So it includes strategies like call to actions, right? You know, verbiage that flows nicely. And of course, this is what syndicates onto 350 plus real estate websites. So this is very important. Now, once you get the one that you like, the property description, obviously we know we put that in the MLS, okay? But now let's say, okay, great. Now we write this for Instagram or social media. Optimized, I always say with keywords, to increase exposure. Hashtags, oh, and a strong call to action. Okay, and so within seconds, it's gonna rewrite it in a format that would be popularized on Instagram, right? With a call to action that makes sense for the platform as well. Now, again, when you first read it, you're like, oh, that doesn't really sound like me. If you work with the tone a little bit, it remembers your tone and then keeps it forever. So it's worth it, right? So then what you could do with this, just to show you the execution of it with the links from your website, right? Because you're trying to drive traffic to your website, which by the way, Gemini made my headshot. Isn't that fun? Yeah, that's cool. So like, yeah, I was pretty impressed. ChatGPT does not do good with head from what I've experienced. I'm like, this doesn't look like me. And you're like, it's like a different person. Yeah. Yeah. You're like, no, you're right. I'm sorry about that. Let me try again. And like, still bad. Like, what do you want from me? So if you do want to pull up your Facebook or your LinkedIn, you can do this on Instagram, just doesn't let you put links in the caption, which is annoying. It's just not clickable if you do this. So I really recommend always linking the listing, you know, when you're posting it on LinkedIn or Facebook, because it drives traffic to your site, right? And if you are in Facebook, right, just a heads up, right, if you click on your headshot on the top right, there is the business profile for Facebook and personal profile are separate. It's one of the few platforms that are like that. You would be required to have a business account to run a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad. I can help guide you on setting this up. If you don't have that, you don't need it for today's class. But in general, feel free to meet with me if you have questions on the how or the why. Because yeah, you would need a Facebook business profile, mainly for the ads, but also for credibility for your brand, that you're not just not a person winging real estate. You are a business that's helping them sell homes. And with people like Mark Spain out there and whatever the other guy's name is, right? Their brand actually the billboards everywhere. Right? They're a business that people want to work with, right? And that's what we're trying to set up that branding for you. Okay, so let's say I'm going to now post this on my personal page. So if you go to your personal page, or wherever you usually post from, or you can do that from your timeline. So whenever you're doing a post, so I can copy and paste in what I just got from Gemini, right? So I can copy this in and paste into Facebook. What I really want to show you guys though is how to get the link in here, or just the concept that, right, when we're on our website, we want to copy and paste that link and paste it into the post as well, right? So that was just essentially, searching the property and copying and pasting it to your Facebook. Then with a call to action, like click here for all the photos and more information, and then a link to that. Is there a difference from your actual account and page? Great question, Maya. Yeah, so the personal Facebook page, the difference mainly is you have business tools for your business account, right? So what you would be setting up, and I'll show you where you go to set that up if you want to get started on that. What you're setting up is a separate profile for your business. It typically has to be your first and last name of Keller Williams Realty. Here, let me show you an agent's account. You can see what compliance wise, and I'll show you where we set this up. Right, but see how it's Yates and Maxwell Properties. It can either be of or with. Powered by is fine, it's just longer. But so it can be your first and last name of Keller Williams Realty, right? And again, I can help you guys set this up, but it is actually pretty easy to set up and no one sees it until you invite them. So if you do want to set this up on your end, just to point you in the correct direction, and of course you can ask ChatGPT, but from your personal account, and I do know I'm going kind of fast, guys, so I apologize. But from your personal account, on the left-hand side here, it's your shortcuts, or on the top there, right? Click see more if you don't see pages, which I usually don't by default. But the pages icon is an orange flag. I don't know if that's like a lighter shade of red flag. Like, what's your orange flag?
Burnt orange.
Yeah, it's the burnt orange flag. So if you click on that on the left-hand side, and I know it's a little different on mobile, but you're looking for pages, and then you can come in here and click create new profile or page and go through those steps to create a business page. Yeah. And again, for this class, knowing that these things exist and jotting down a to-do list if this is something that you need to do, right? And then you can come meet with me and we can implement it together and time block for it together, okay? So anything I say that you don't have set up in your business, jot it down and we'll do it together. Okay, so again, what that idea was, right, we took that caption and we posted it on our Facebook with a link to the website. And I do know that was fast, so please let me know if you need to see that again. But what I want to show you now, okay, is last two things is how you then convert it to an email, and then into finally I'm going to show you guys how to do an ad with the last 15 minutes here. So if you want to convert this into an email, simple, I just want to show you guys, right? I would say something like rewrite this as an email to my sphere. So that it has more of a welcoming tone, right? And you can tell it, make it a warmer tone, more casual, right?
Yeah.
And then it will save your tone, right? But it gives you the exact verbiage that then you can copy and paste and send out to your sphere. If you need to know the how on that, shoot me an email, I can send you a video or meet with us. So I do teach that regularly. I'll have to see when the next email class is. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So that's all I really was going to show you on the email side of things, which I know is not a whole lot. I would put a button that would go to the link to the website, right, with the property info. But yeah, I can show you the full strategy around that next time, or next time we meet. Finally, though, I would like to show you how you can set up that Instagram or Facebook ad, and resources too, then on how to do what I'm saying, either for free, right, and not have to remember every word I'm saying, or how you can just leverage it. Okay, so I'm gonna go into commands now, into agent.kw.com, right? And for this, if you don't have a Facebook business page connected, you won't be able to really do the full thing, but that's okay, right? You can watch with me, or forget when it blocks you. But you can tell if you have a Facebook business account linked up by on the top right of command where it says your name and your headshot. You can click on that and click on settings. It'll take you over to all the apps that are linked to your command. Okay, kind of like an iPhone. So again, your name on the top right and settings. Yours might be in a different order than mine because the linked up ones are at the top. So you'll notice two Facebook options. You might have to keep scrolling down, right? I have mine at the top because they're already connected. But if you keep scrolling down like to social, I forget where they are exactly. There's two Facebook options. There's one Facebook option for post scheduling, which is free and cool, where, right, if I sat down and made a social media post for home maintenance tips, you know, for December, January, February, March, April, then I could sit down and schedule them to go out automatically for the first of each month. That's one of the most profit producing thing you can do with your time for social media, right? Instead of 2 hours on one post, which happens to me. Yeah, I can always help you with that strategy too. So post scheduling, you want to be linked. Again, this is a business accounts only for both of these, but also ads manager. So the ads manager, that does cost, but you can run an ad for as little as $3.33 for one day, you know, so it's a pretty nominal cost. I would recommend it, especially for listings. Okay, and if it's not linked, you can just click on manage. Oh, it moved. So you can click on paid ad settings right there, or if you want to just go on back to where we were, it's the megaphone icon on the left-hand side. Let me show you where that is. So the campaigns section is that megaphone icon on the left-hand side. And that's just anytime we're blasting things out, essentially, hence the icon, right? So in the campaigns icon on the left-hand side, that megaphone, any page you click on in command, the action button is then on the top right, that green button. So that's kind of what it wants you to do next. So I'll click create campaign. And feel free to stop me if I lose you. But just to show you what I mean with this, right? This is where you send out postcards, emails. This is where you can schedule social media posts or paid ads. So anytime we're trying to blast something out, that's a campaign section. In this case, we'll do the paid ad. Just for reference, the paid ad and the postcards cost. Postcards are pretty nominal for the 6x9. It's around $1 for print and postage. So it's pretty good ROI as well. Email and social posts are your free options. Okay, so for paid ad is the option I clicked on the bottom right, and that's talking about doing a Facebook and Instagram ad. Okay, and so when you click on that, it'll open up some options, and the main thing to look at is we want to use the one that has this blue tag under it, because what that does is that after they click on the ad, so let's say they see your listing, they click on the ad to learn more, they first go to Facebook's lead gen form, which automatically pulls their detail from their Facebook profile and enters in, like autofills their email and phone number. So it's usually correct information and it's Facebook's branding, so it legitimizes it and builds trust. So we always want to really select that. You can select, so the blue here is how you know it's that one. We for listing, typically I'll select the multi-image carousel. You can do 5 images from the MLS. And I'll tell you some strategies on this using Gemini. Okay, and again, not remembering everything I say here, but knowing this exists, I have the videos to walk you through it, or I can sit down and do it with you for free. So just know you have options. So listing here, so if I go ahead and add my listing in. So I can filter to search for my listing, so I can search by the street address, or I can change this to, you know, the MLS ID, which I find helpful, right? Or whatever you want to search for, listing agent. And you can search by your name to pull up all your listings. Okay, and then you can go ahead and select the listing on the left-hand side and click select. And it is just a few steps now that you bring in that listing, okay? So that targeting option here, so this is where I was talking about that we can target up to 10 different cities around the US. So it defaults on the 15-mile radius around your listing, but if I change that to the custom location, this is where I can put in, okay, yes, I do want Charlotte, but I also looked on that referral map and saw a large amount of referrals coming from Austin, Texas, from, let's say, New York City. I know there's not a lot of land, right? So you can go ahead and select what those are here. Okay, and you can do up to 10, yeah, which is really awesome. Really, and remembering this for your listing appointments is very helpful. The text here, so the strategy is important for what you're putting in the text and the headline. Okay, and you can use Gemini for that. So 1 second, I'm going to that. That's the strategy. You'll see 5 different images under here, and I'll tell you the strategy for that as well. So for the headline, right, that's telling them, you know, like the bolded font. We never want to put the address, first of all, in this information, because they can just grab it and go to Zillow and look it up, right? Withholding certain information is the goal, so they have to click to see it. So let's say there's a pool in the house, right? Writing something like, you know, click below to check out this, you know, magnificent pool, right? Coaxing them into clicking on it, right? Also, withholding the price is a really valuable strategy sometimes, especially if you say at this price, you know, at this deal. And these strategies, right, you don't necessarily need to remember them. You can just go to Gemini here and tell it to act like a Facebook ad strategist and write the verbiage, withholding certain information that would increase your leads coming, right? So just whatever your goal is, making sure to tell it specifically, even if it seems obvious, yeah, Facebook ad, right?
Create clickbait.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like act like a Facebook strategist and create headline and what was the other one? Body text, I think. And you can put in the character amounts, I usually do, in the character amounts to strategically withhold information to increase clicks and lead flow. See if they got my 10 items. Okay, and so it will give you then, right, what it would recommend exactly to copy and paste in. And right, this is where I would recommend the character count. But telling it that strategy is really important to remember, right? So that it does it. You don't need to know the strategy as much as you need to tell it what to do. And then you can copy and paste that in. Final strategy to kind of show you here as we wrap up. The listing photos, another strategy that you can do. So to change these out, all you need to do is click the pencil icon. And then it will start, this is all the listings from the MLS, which is cool. So you can simply click on it to pull it in. The 3 homes that sell a listing most are the kitchen, the primary bedroom, and the living room. Or the great room. What? Yes, that one, the bigger one, yeah. Right, so including those photos in your listings is really helpful. Another strategy that I heard that works well is actually not putting pictures of the exterior. So if it's a property that looks pretty inside, right?
They want to see that.
Exactly, they're like, oh, well, this is so cool, what's the outside look like,
Yeah.
right? Or even if it's just a close-up of the front door, right? Going a little too close with these, they want to see more, and that prompts them to click. finally here, and this is too, I have a video on this, so just know, but what this is doing is asking them, okay, after they submit their lead information, right, on the Facebook lead form, where do you want them to go, right? And we want them to go to your website, to the property that we did at the beginning of class, right? So remember how we looked up the property on your website and we copy and pasted that URL for the property? Okay, great. We just copy and paste that in. And guys, I know it'd be helpful to see, but feel free to book with me and I'll help you with this. The lead settings are super awesome in the sense that it can automatically tag these leads when they come in from the ad, so you know, and it can automatically set them up on a Facebook follow-up, which I will show you how to add it to your account today. If you feel comfortable with smart plans, it's just a couple clicks, or you can just meet with me and I'll show you how to add it. So every time it's just automatically, you'll just select the Facebook lead gen form or smart plan, right? And it automatically follows up with them for you, right when it comes in, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to save this as a draft if you did anything as far as if you want to save to reference it. The last page is really just the putting in the billing information, and just the strategy around that we would recommend is, so you can run it for as little as $3 and I want to say 33 cents a day, which is quite different than Google ads have a minimum of $250, which okay, no. So, but as far as the start date and end date, right? Typically the recommendation is around $5 to $7 a day for 5 to 7 days. So that ends up being around $35 to $50, right? It's worth it to tell your clients that you're doing it. I mean, like, you have a listing. I don't necessarily recommend it if you're just trying to get new leads, yeah, you get leads, they're just colder. So meet with me, I can give you other strategies that I find better. Billing information, but then you can go ahead and click save as draft if you guys want to, or purchase now, of course. And the final thing I was just going to show you was, oh yeah, okay. If you do want to see, I'm going to quickly just show you, I know we have 4 minutes here, how to add the Facebook follow-up smart plan. If you have any trouble with it, just come meet with me and I can help you with that. So I'm going to go back to command. I did pull up another tab and just went to agent.kw.com. Okay, if you're new to the word smart plan, essentially all that is creating systems in your account to follow up with leads and make sure you're touching your sphere when you should. So those blue boxes at the top, well, first of all, on the left-hand side, the smart plans icon is around the 4th one down. It looks like a to-do list with a settings sphere, because that's what it does. It automates your to-do list. Okay, so in the smart plans here, if there's 2 blue boxes, you can X out of those. You do have a lot of smart plans in here, which are awesome resources. But if you could join me instead to click the library tab on the very top. Smart plans are my favorite thing that Command does. It's a really powerful tool. But library here, this is KW provided smart plans, and all agents across KW who are using smart plans that work, they add them in here. So if you can type in, make sure in the smart plan name, let me just make sure it's right before I tell you. Yes. So if you can type in JuLeah Designs in the smart plan name, so JuLeah Designs, JuLeah Designs. And then that smart plan name, the Facebook ad follow up right here. If you just click add smart plan, it's just going to add it to your account. It's not going to send anything. Okay, so you can click add and click download. All right, have it. Okay. So again, we just did that add smart plan, right? To add it to your account from the library, searched our name. So now under my smart plans, you can see it, see what's in it. Under my smart plans. And honestly, this is a whole class in itself, guys. So I know this might be a lot here coming at the end, but more just knowing this exists to come meet with me. That's your goal of these classes. So my smart plans, I now see the My Facebook ad follow-up. I can view what's in it by clicking the pencil icon on the far right of that smart plan name. And what you're looking at here in the center column is, so you'll see day 1, right? It sends an email, and this is completely editable. This is just what we add for our gold clients, so I figured I'd give it to you guys as well. So it sends an email, then it waits 3 days, and then it'll remind you to make a call. Then it will wait 4 days, and then it will send them another email, right? And you can completely edit this. You could make it send text for you, etc. And it automates based on when they came in, staggered to their, timeline. So everyone has a separate timeline of that follow-up, same with open houses. So yeah, just knowing this exists and clicking save plan here, meet with me and I will show you how to automate that further if that's something you want to implement in your business. Last thing is just how to meet with us, kwbresources.com. Right, you'll see up here it says marketing help. Just heads up, we can market your listing for $75 if you just want us to do all the things that I told you. We can add on postcards or the Facebook ad even, so it's strategically done and done probably, so you don't have to pull your hair out. So just know we have leverage options, or I'm happy to teach you how. So you have both. So again, KWB Resources marketing help at the top. You can book with us every other week for free. And then these classes are every Thursday at 12:30. I go through a different way to get more referrals from your sphere. Well, thanks for coming, everyone. Just my email I'll put on the screen here. So if you want to shoot me an email, you can. And I'd be happy to also send you the notes from today's class. Just not that it's very exciting, but. So my email is leah@juleahdesigns.com. All right, guys, it's been real. See you soon. Bye, everyone online.
Bye. Thank you.
Of course. See you soon. I'm so glad, Mary. Glad it helped. Well, thanks for coming. Yeah,
Thank you, yeah.
anytime, because bold's going.